And welcome into a new week and new charts and new energies. Welcome back. It's August 26th. Thomas Miller back on the Fun Astrology podcast. You know, a lot of the big picture that we painted is going to be pretty repetitive this month. So while we really, since I started this podcast, things have been changing so much that now we've hit Virgo season and it's not going to be so much. Things have really kind of slowed down as far as the energies of the chart go. So the primary ones that we still are talking about and will still talk about is this trine between Uranus and the Virgo planets, which now are the Sun, Mars, and Venus. We're going to talk about those three in just a second. Mercury is going to join the party. So I thought we did this on Friday. We talked about Virgo characteristics. Now let's talk about the energies around Virgo that are stacked up. So we have the trine with Uranus. That's in place. And we still have the sextile between Neptune and the big three. That's in place. And we still have the square between Neptune and Jupiter. Okay, so those are the big ones in play right now. So let's talk about kind of what's going on with Virgo. And I wanted to point out today that the moon is back in Cancer. What's been happening with the moon in Cancer has been cranky all summer. When the moon was in Cancer, cranky. Why? Because it's opposite the big three, Saturn, the South Node, and Pluto. Now, Saturn and Pluto are getting ready. Well, Saturn will later this month. It's on the 17th that it stations direct. So it stops going backwards on the chart and it starts going forward. That will return that full-on Saturnian energy. Have you missed Saturn this summer? I would say, have you missed it? No. You know, that's the deal. Bottom line, it's been a nice break. Yeah, you know, when you get on the good side of Saturn, you do kind of miss it because there's benefic foundational energy. There's build a good solid base. And that energy is going to return. It's also going to, the club of Saturn is going to return in full force later this month if that's the side of the planet that you are on. Saturn is not to be feared. What's to be feared is being on the wrong side of it, and that's choice, and that's you. It's not about Saturn. See, we have choice. Anyway, let's talk about the Virgo energies right now. But the moon could be a little cranky today, so emotions around anything Cancer, so just emotional, deep, watery Cancer, and the transformation work going on down there with Saturn and Pluto. But I don't think it's going to be that strong. And the reason it was so tough during the summer, of course, is because the planets that we're going to talk about now were there. And that is the Sun and Mars and Mercury and Venus were all stacked up in Cancer. And the moon would come around and and they were opposite Saturn and Pluto, and Saturn and Pluto were going forward. And it was just this is not an expletive podcast, but there was just one that came out. Did you hear it? Let's just do it that way and roll on. So the sun being in Virgo, we talked about the Virgo characteristics on Friday. So if you missed Friday, that we kind of painted a little bit of a Virgo picture. One of the things you can say about Virgo is Virgo likes to get the job done right the first time. It likes to do things well. It's grounded. Because of that, it can be critical. Because if things are not being done right and being done well, it will get grumpy. Just out of wanting to do it right. It's like, this is the way it should be done. I'm working on a website right now, and I'm not doing a Virgo job on it because it's a huge project, and I have a bunch of other stuff going on, so I just get it to where it's okay. Nobody's going to be offended. Nobody's going to, but this picture is a little smaller than that picture. I'm like, see, that's not Virgo. Virgo would want all the pictures the same, the fonts the same, the font size is the same, and just, that's how you do it right. So the sun is in Virgo. We talked about that on Friday. It's at 3 degrees as we're looking at it today. Mars is also in Virgo at 5 degrees, and that's a little bit of a misfit because Mars, come on, let's go. Impatient. I was impatient today already. I've got Mars sitting on my sun. What can I do, right? 6 degrees sun, 6 degrees Mars. in Scorpio. Yeah, I'm the chart that the lady in Denver said makes her dizzy. So, that's just one of those things that I've had to come to live with. But yeah, I have an impatient edge. And so Mars comes into very patient, very methodical, very do it right, very, no, wait a minute, we're going to slow down and look at this again. And Mars is like, oh, hell no. So that's Mars is tapping its foot. And remember, Mars just came out of a fire sign in Leo, so it was happier over there. Now it's like, do we have to wait again? It was grumpy in Cancer. It's grumpy back here in Virgo. The other one that's in Virgo is Venus. Now, Venus rules its next door neighbor, Libra, so we're just a little bit away from Libra. Take 3. Okay, let's do that again. Venus, the love planet, rules Libra, the balanced planet, the planet of home. Venus will move into Libra later this month. That was what I was trying to say. Was that difficult? Venus, Libra. Okay. And so Venus being in Virgo, not so much either. It brings a practicality to love and to beauty and to relationships and to all things Venus. It just brings a matter-of-factness. There's no fire. Maybe a little bit of passion because Mars is just still 1 degree away. So yeah, there could be a little punch. But it's like, I had these friends who met in school, married just out of school, and they've just been passionately and madly in love with each other ever since. And we were all working together. This is a bunch of years ago, so he was probably in his 40s, maybe late 30s, early 40s back in that time. And he said that when you've been in a relationship that long, and he was talking about lovemaking, about Venus type things, he said, yeah, we just kind of, what do you want to do? Like, yeah, okay. I mean, I'm sure they had their moments, but that's kind of Venus in Virgo. It's like, yeah, okay. Now, Mercury is sitting over there at 24 degrees Leo, so that's 6 degrees away from the Virgo party. Why is that important? Anybody take a quick guess? That's right, because Mercury rules Virgo. Now, here's something interesting on the chart. So Mercury also rules another sign. Do you know which one it is? It's the other sign of communication. It's really the big sign of communication. Gemini. We were there this past summer. So Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, which are only separated by 2 houses, Cancer and Leo. So what's interesting is, although Mercury rules both, if you have Mercury in either one and other planets in either one, they're going to be square. So you're going to have a challenged, tense relationship. 90-degree angle, right? 30, Cancer, 60, Leo, 90, Virgo. That's counting from Gemini toward Virgo. I don't know why the universe chose to do that and not put it on a trine at 120 degrees, but it did. That's the way it is, so we live with it. So right now we don't have anything in Gemini to challenge that. So when Mercury drops into Virgo, it's going to be full on home. It's going to take its shoes off, pop open a beverage, sit down on the couch, and call it another lap around the chart. Whew. When does that happen? I'm glad you asked. It happens on Thursday. So we'll have the whole family in Virgo for a little while, and then Venus will pull out and be in Libra, and that won't be so bad either because it will be home. So we'll have Mercury home in Virgo, and pretty soon we'll have Venus at home in Libra. So that's to look forward to. The rest of everything gets kind of quiet. So, we'll be talking more about some of these deeper intricacies while we don't have the other stuff to discuss as much. So that'll be kind of fun. That's how we'll spend our Virgo season. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.